Pressure's coming. Tannehill lost the football. Every day. Tannehill intercepted. Wingard picked it off.
What?
As time, Henry's wide open. Henry has a first down and bruises his way down to the 20. Ball came out late. And the Jaguars recover.
What the hell?
Field with the 2 timeouts. Lawrence to the end zone, and it's caught off the deflection. But
What?
on 2nd and goal from the 1, Lawrence keeps it himself. Stiff arms Cole, dives and gets in.
What?
A little bit of momentum now on the offensive side of the ball. And a botch snap. So much for my question. Jaguars saying they have it, and they do!
Well, it's Friday. It's Friday today. Woo, okay. Wow. First question, how's the bender going this week? Mine's not going well. I'm trying to establish myself, Jake. Welcome into Titans Tube. I'm Justin. This is Jake. Normally we recap the games like on a Monday or Tuesday after the game, but time got away from us, and let's be honest, we weren't really, jumping at the gun to get this thing done after what we saw on Sunday together in person.
Yes.
Jake, you came down to Nashville from your location, your home base in Dayton, Ohio. And I'm sorry, Jake, we couldn't celebrate together. But instead, we have to talk about this Titans team who just dropped a game to the Jaguars. And is this the first time since you've joined Titans Tube that we've had to recap a game where the Titans lost to Jacksonville? I think the last
It
loss
might be.
2018.
Wow.
Gardner
Unbelievable.
Minshew Thursday night game or something dumb.
sounds right.
Dumb. It's always a dumb time when the Titans lose to Jacksonville. But my goodness gracious, Jake. Okay, so I'll just start it off like this. In the preview episode, you said if we drop this game, you're going to be reaching for the panic button, but maybe not necessarily pressing it yet, but you're reaching. How far has that reach gone now, Jake? Are we panicking or not?
That's a great question, Justin. My finger is on it. It hasn't pressed the button, but I've made contact with the panic button, and I'm ready. I am ready to fire. And okay, first things first, I want to address coming down to Nashville, man. I had an absolute ball. I know despite the result of the game, we had a great time together. I got to shout it out on the podcast. I absolutely came into your crib, Justin, your hometown, and beat you up in pool. So that was pretty fun.
We didn't have to talk about that. 5-0. You swept me 5 games to none, dude. You have some pool chops. You have some pool skills. I didn't know what I was getting into, but you were knocking them down.
No hustle skills here, but sorry to dunk on you again. After the 14-point loss to the Jags, I had to just throw that in there as a part of our recap of the weekend.
Fun, but I had a horrible time.
But yes, Justin and his wife were wonderful hosts. I don't know if they're going to be putting that extra room up on Airbnb soon, but if you're coming in for a Titans game, the Justin household is a great place to stay. So thank you again. I just wanted to extend my thanks. Justin, as far as this football team goes, my stay with you guys was great. This football team is not looking as great. Like I said, I made contact with the panic button. It's not pressed. And here's the thing about how this is going to go. We talked about a monumental collapse for them to lose the division. It's becoming much clearer of a path that the Titans are not going to win this division. And I'm not there yet. But I'll lodge you a question back to you. We're talking about this team collapsing spectacularly right now. But, all things considered, they're still 2 games ahead of the Jags with 4 to play. The magic number is 3. So any combination of Titans wins, Jags losses that add up to 3 games will clinch the division for the Titans. My question back to you, Justin, is the non-optimistic side, the pessimistic side of me says, I don't even want to see this team in the playoffs because we know we're going to be a one and done. Why put ourselves on the national stage hosting a home playoff game if they're just going to lose anyways? Because this team is in absolute disarray right now. My panic button for the season has already been pressed. In terms of how we're going to lose the division, I haven't pressed it yet. But in terms of optimism, I'm at an all-time low with this team, Justin. What are your thoughts? And I don't mean to be so negative early on, but it's almost like do we even deserve to be in the playoffs? It's like maybe this Jags team is a lot more frisky and fun to watch in January. And it's weird to say that wearing, the flaming thumbtack on my chest and having it on behind the wall behind me, because we've seen the ugliness of this team. We've seen rock bottom with this team, and we would have died for a division title and a playoff appearance. So that considered, I obviously want to see the Titans in the playoffs as a fan. But what's your temperature right now on expectations or even outlook on this team? Because we could be looking at a rebuild after the season.
Yeah. Well, okay. In classic Titans tube fashion, Super Bowl. I'm on the Super Bowl train. We're always optimistic for that Titans tube. There's no doubt in my mind, but we're taking home the Lombardi Trophy this year. That was a lie. There's lots of doubt, and it's looking bad. I didn't know the magic number was 3. I thought it was less than that. I'm 3. Looking at, let's see, Titans are 7-6, Jags are 5-8.
It's because they play that last game. The Titans Jags play week 18, and that kind of throws a wrench in it a little bit. And the Titans really messed up not winning on Sunday, honestly. That would have really kind of sealed the envelope, and we could have just slept walk until January. But that loss on Sunday really narrowed that gap, and also kind of, hey, wake up a little bit. You're on a 3-game skid. The Jags are catching up. Jags are playing good football.
They are. And really, I'm not looking at the Titans opponents anymore because I can't trust this team to win a football game, even against the Texans, who nearly pulled it out against the Cowboys last week. I can't trust the Titans to win a game in their current form, in the current roster that they're putting out there with all these injuries. We're looking at Danico Autry, Christian Fulton still, not expected to play against the Chargers on Sunday. I'm looking at the the Jaguars and Colts opponents. We're big-time Cowboys fans this week on the road against Jacksonville, and then
America's
tomorrow, Saturday game, Colts are on the road. I can't believe we're still including the Colts in this, because really the Jacksonville has emerged.
The Jags are the biggest threat.
They are number 2 in the division now. Colts are 4-8-1. So, but still, Colts would be definitely eliminated, losing to the Vikings on the road, which is very much could expect that to happen. But we really need the Cowboys to win. I mean, there's nothing really for me to hope for and expect outside of a wild card loss at home in Nissan Stadium. But I mean, I want the banner. I want the AFC South banner. I mean, let's salvage something out of this trash division, and that's turning out to be a pretty sad and disappointing season for the Titans. The expectations are kind of gone. I mean, I've largely been ignoring football now for the past 3 weeks, and I was stupid enough years ago to start a Titans channel, thinking it would be fun with my buddy Caleb. So we are required now to talk about the games even during the bad times. But I'm kidding. It's always fun to talk about the Titans and football, but the expectations are just kind of out the window for me in terms of doing anything with the season. But I'm still, as a fan, dude, I want to host a playoff game. I want to be in the dance, so to speak. Hosting, I don't know, the Miami Dolphins or the Ravens, if Lamar Jackson comes back healthy, or maybe the Bengals. I don't know. I'm expecting
please, anybody but Cincinnati. Anybody but the Bengals, please. Anybody
I would almost rather play the Ravens over Cincinnati.
Absolutely.
I'm saying that. Or maybe the Jets will make some noise and be the 5 seed and come to Nashville. I like our chances against the Jets. Yeah. But anyway, it's hard to see this team advancing in the playoffs at all. But I want 3. I want 3 division titles in a row. That's cool. That's nice, right? It's like, is that a sad thing to say? Like, it's championship or bust. The season can't be a success without a Super Bowl or whatever. I don't know. I mean, salvage a division title from the season, and then maybe, what's going on in this offseason? How much rebuilding are we going to be doing? I mean, we have a new general manager, so like from that angle,
it could be a lot.
It's going to be a totally new thing. Yeah. But I'm paying attention. I'm watching. I'm a fan. I'm definitely a fan of whoever's playing the Jags for the rest of the season, because we need them to lose a couple games. Let's go Cowboys. And let's get Autry healthy and Christian Fulton, get Traylon Burks back, and maybe something can happen here in the playoffs. Get Dennis Daly. Get Dennis Kelly in the building and into this offensive line. Get Daly out. My Lord, dude, if we want to just get into this game, I mean, we saw it right away. Sack, fumble, right away in the first quarter. Just a wild, disappointing game of crazy, dumb turnovers. Tannehill throwing directly to Wingard. Derrick Henry, losing a fumble in the most ridiculous way possible. The football gods, I felt like, were just not on our side. Like, how does that happen? How do you fumble a ball straight up in the air and it's like an inch out
on
of bounds?
On the sideline. Yeah.
Right in the Jags, arms. What? We weren't meant. It was not meant to be. It felt like, Trevor Lawrence stiff-arming Dylan Cole. Like, oh, dude, what a nightmare. Just a big old good old-fashioned Titans nightmare that was. It was not our day. I mean, I don't know what it's already, like I said, it's Friday. What more can we talk about this game that's not already been discussed on other channels and media platforms? But I will say this, man. This is really the first time I saw Trevor Lawrence play this year. And he does look like the real deal. I don't know if he's like number one draft overall good, or if he's even the best quarterback in the draft class in which he was drafted. But dude, he was money, dude. He was playing very, very well. I mean, the Titans' move kind of is to make players here and there look like Hall of Famers. I mean, we put Trevor Lawrence in the Hall of Fame. We put Evan Ingram in the Hall of Fame. Dude, that's the best game I've ever seen Evan Ingram play. Like, good Lord, we could not stop him. They were unstoppable. So, yeah, I mean, Jags played a great game. Hats off to him. They didn't even need to run the ball. I mean, I kept mentioning this while we were at the game. We keep shutting down the run game, and it's like, why would they even run the ball at this point? We can shut down the run, but it doesn't matter because Lawrence was feeling it. He was slinging it. And speaking of the football guys not being on our side, the McCreary tipped near interception that still landed in Zay Jones's hands right before halftime. I can't believe they got a touchdown drive off of that right before half. I think that was after the Derrick Henry fumble. It's all coming out now, Jake. I'm just rambling here and there.
No, you're good. Go for it.
This is the first time I've allowed my brain to think about this game, and it's just as frustrating. So, what a horrible day in Nashville that was.
And it really comes down to, I think, in my opinion, Trevor Lawrence and the Jags were playing a second team defense, essentially out there. You don't have any pass rush. We weren't anywhere near Trevor Lawrence. Talk about things I kept saying to you during the game. We weren't even close to Trevor Lawrence, it seemed, on Sunday.
Yes.
And then, you got Christian Fulton out of the game. Amani Hooker was injured in that game. You're looking around, and McCreary is your cornerback one. Your second round rookie is your CB1 right now. And when you have no pass rush and you have a rookie as your number one corner, Trey Avery wasn't playing in the game either. When you're so low on depth, even at middle linebacker, they have no Dylan Cole, and the names escape me because it is our second team defense out there. Yeah. From defensive line on back, every group is devastated by injury right now. And it shows. That Trevor Lawrence and the Jags came in here after getting absolutely destroyed by the Detroit Lions. They came in and looked like world beaters, put up 36 points, and they should have put up more. It should have been a 40 spot, if I'm being completely honest. And as far as the Titans offense goes, 4 turnovers. There's not really too much to talk about other than if you turn the ball over 4 times, you're going to lose. And it's just as simple as that. And the problem was the most frustrating thing about the game, Justin, is the Titans were moving the football. 2 of those turnovers were like inside the 30. And the Titans were moving the football effectively. But again, you lose the ball 4 times, you don't get any turnovers. It's an automatic loss. Yeah. And this year's Titans team and Titans teams, of recent years past, pride themselves on good defense, ball control, run the clock. So, okay, you got ball control, complete failure, because they gave the ball over 4 times. Good defense. Let's take a look at this Titans defense over the past 4 games, Justin. They have 4 sacks, 1 sack per game in the last 4, and 0 turnovers in the last 4.
Jeez.
And that's just so if you pride yourself on good defense and ball control, and this is the result you're going to get, you're not going to win any football games, really. And so I don't know. I don't know if we can turn the page on this Jacksonville game just because it is another bury the tape game. Didn't really do much good other than, I guess, move the ball a little bit, but then turn it over because, after coming off a performance like that on Sunday, Justin, and then you turn the page and you're looking at a Los Angeles Chargers team with a better quarterback, better wide receivers, and you're not much healthier at all. If anything, you're less healthy than you were going into the Jacksonville game. Defensive starters out on Sunday, Justin. You're looking at Danico Autry, no surprise. Amani Hooker out of the game. Christian Fulton out of the game. Trey Avery out of the game. And that's not even counting David Long on IR. Zach Cunningham still on IR. It's getting ridiculous at this point.
Was Cunningham designated to return? I thought I saw that.
He was, but he's not activated yet. So we don't know if he's going to be brought up for Sunday.
You mentioned, better quarterback, better receivers, and their best player might be the running back in Austin Eckler. I mean, what a nightmare of a matchup that a hobbled and broken Titans defense is going into on the road here. That's why I'm looking at the Jags opponents for the rest of the season. I don't know where my
might take 3 Jags losses.
Yeah. And usually, we talk about, when Titans, the Vrabel Titans, backs against the wall, will sometimes surprise you and come out with a win and win a game you're really not expecting them to. They haven't really been doing that. And we're on a 3-game skid facing a tough opponent who's fighting, they're kind of fighting for their playoff lives, but they're also in good position right now. They're also 7-6, so they're right at that wild card stage. So they're going to be, they're going to be fighting. They have a lot to play for. And they're playing well right now. They just came off a win against the Miami Dolphins, who was the front runner as far as wild card goes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough. It's a tough matchup. It's gonna be tough sledding for this defense to rally and pull out a W. I don't know, man. What are your expectations kind of going into the Chargers? I mean, I just hope we don't get more injured at this point.
It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. And I know it's kind of tired at this point. You see it all the time on Twitter. Like, what is our strength and conditioning department and coaches? What are they doing? Like, what do they do all day?
2 years in a row now.
It's becoming a pattern.
Yeah. Like, fool me once, shame on you, but fool me twice. Got to look at yourself. What are we doing? What are we doing in the off season or training, or how are we practicing? Like, are we just like going full pads like all the time and just we want to preach this physical identity and mentality? But if that's what's getting us hurt all the time, maybe we should play a little nicer, maybe not hit as hard. I don't know what's going on, but 2 years in a row, that's very odd that we are continually dealing with more injuries than any other team in the NFL.
Yeah. And it's just, what are my expectations for Sunday, Justin? I said it right before we started filming. I cannot believe the Los Angeles Chargers are only a field goal favorite at home versus this absolutely devastated Titans defense. Look at this Chargers offense. One, you got the young man, Justin Herbert, running the show over there. Very much looks the part of a franchise quarterback. You said it. Austin Eckler, huge receiving threat out of the backfield. Oh, and who do we have covering receiving backs coming out of the backfield? Bud Dupree, the guy we're paying $1 billion to rush the quarterback, is dropping back in pass coverage and failing.
I couldn't believe it.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So great. Okay, those are 2 guys you don't really want to see. And I haven't even gotten to their stable of wide receivers. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Joshua Palmer has flashed in parts. And their tight end, Gerald Everett, is also a big-time receiving threat. So it's just, like, do I even want to watch the game on Sunday? Should I go for a hike instead, or should I just go do something more productive with my time? Because I can't believe that the Chargers are only 3-point favorites when, I mean, what we just saw on Sunday with a healthier defense, now it's less healthy going against a way better offense. I don't have a lot of hope or optimism, Justin. I hope you can bring some for me because I got nothing.
I'm looking for some. I can't find it. I mean, this is a big downer. I mean, this is a downer of an episode, but I mean, that's just kind of the state of things right now with this team. It's hard to find that optimism. I mean, when Derrick Henry goes for over 120 yards and a touchdown and you get blown out, good Lord, something is seriously wrong, because that was our identity. What was the Titans' record when Henry goes over 100 yards or has X amount of touches? That stat's getting away from us now. Like, this team is finding ways to lose now. You know, how we always kind of find ways to win. We're finding ways to lose. It's a miracle that we ripped off 7 wins earlier in the seasons. I mean, this team is playing much, much worse than what we were. And we don't have the players, too. I mean, this defense was elite in the first half of the season. We were locking teams down, allowing 10 points, 14 points or less. I mean, this defense was great. But, man, the injuries and everything that's happened with the roster mismanagement has really caught up to this team. And things are looking bad. So, I mean, we'll see. Yeah, I don't have a lot of optimism for this game. I'm almost looking ahead to Christmas Eve against the Texans. Can we please get that one? And the Texans are playing well. They almost beat the Cowboys. And I mean, they have nothing to play for, but I mean, they're still playing. They're playing better than we are right now. And they beat us at home last year too. So can we get this win against Houston? And then hopefully the Jags are going to win out. I mean, things aren't that crazy, are they? Knock on wood. Maybe they will.
You never know.
Yeah. I mean, this game, it's going to be tough, man. And I mean, if we come out with a win, we'll be back on doing a video about it, and I'll take my words and say, man, what was I thinking? Of course, you know, this is the NFL. Any given Sunday, yada yada. I should have had more faith. But man, it's bad. You know, you lose to the Jags and it's like the world's falling apart if you're a Titans fan. We're not used to this, man. We're not used to losing to the Jacksonville Jags.
Definitely. First Jags win in Nashville in Nissan Stadium since 2013. The Ken, it was before Ken was in Hunt, you said. Yeah, absolutely.
Mike Munchak.
Unbelievable that we go all the way back to 2013, nearly a decade streak in the making. The Titans lose, and that's why I brought up the rebuild aspect. You could be looking right at a rebuild because your franchise left tackle, who hasn't been on the field in forever, Taylor Lewan, probably gone, and you're looking at your quarterback Ryan Tannehill, on track to be a top 5 paid QB. He's not a top 5 paid. He shouldn't be a top 5 paid QB. So you're looking at that. You're looking at maybe a contract restructure, or you're shipping him out of here.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry isn't getting any younger. I hate to say that, but now we're getting upon this. You know, the Derrick Henry window is closing. We talked about a Super Bowl window for, you know, a couple of years so far, but I think that's firmly closed. But the Derrick Henry window is closing. You're wasting this generational talent that you've had here, and an absolute game changer when he's on the field. What have you really accomplished? I guess 3 straight division titles. That's great. And you had the magic run to the AFC title game, which was unbelievable, and what I think is going to make Derrick Henry a Hall of Famer if he's lucky enough to get there. Exactly. The playoff run is kind of what you had to hang your hat on, and they were scrappy underdogs. And now, what have they done to improve themselves? Not really a lot. And that's why John Robinson was fired, because this team has gone, 0 playoff wins since Baltimore, which is unbelievable. So they've gone sideways, and now it feels like we're going in the wrong direction. So you could be looking at a rebuild this offseason. A lot's going to change. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see. But right now, the focus is on just how do we wrap up this division? We're looking at the Jags schedule. That's how low we've gotten, is that we're looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars schedule and seeing like, oh, they could definitely lose to the Cowboys, and they're at the Jets next week. The Jets are frisky. Who knows? It's the Jags, man. And we've had this division locked up. All you had to do was win a couple more games down the stretch. And now it feels like we're looking at a 4-game losing streak right in the face. And you never know, on Christmas Eve, it could be 5. And that's kind of the optimism levels that I have right now. And it's funny, you talked about like, oh, it's not so much fun to get on here and talk. Of course it's not. But I've started to tell the people, like, it's like a therapy session. It's Titans therapy each week to get on here and get it all out with you. So one, I appreciate that. 2, it's bad times in the kingdom right now.
Dude, it is. Dude, yeah, you're on points. Yeah, when we're looking at the Jags, being like, "Ooh, maybe they can lose here and maybe they can lose there," because we have lost faith in this team to go out on Sunday and win a football game. Gosh, yeah, I don't really know what else to say, man. Well, yeah, we'll see. Well, I mean, yeah, we're just kind of praying and hoping that we can squeak out a division title, and then we can get Autry back in the lineup and Burks and all these guys, and maybe win a game. But that's the ceiling, really, of this team. Yeah, I think the focus for a lot of teams or a lot of fans of this team is kind of already peeking into the offseason and wondering what kind of rebuild and restructure can we do if we're going to go full 180. I mean, I don't know if I want to do that. Like, as far as Tannehill goes, I feel like he's our best option for next year. And I know he's a big cap head, so maybe a restructure is in the best interest. But I don't know if we can do better than Tannehill next year to bring in a guy or draft a rookie. Or Malik Willis isn't it? He needs a couple years away from what I've seen this year. But Tannehill, I feel like he's good still. He still goes out there and he plays well when he has the blocking. And that's the biggest travesty of this all this is I feel like Tannehill and Henry came into this year ready to go, and they've been playing well, but they cannot operate behind this offensive line. They can't open holes for Henry, and they can't protect for Tannehill. And Tannehill really has nobody to throw to anyway. I mean, we're throwing deep. I mean, first play of the game was a flea flicker to Nick Westbrook-Akina. Todd, what the F, Todd? I mean,
we're the only offense in the league right now who would even try that. You know, like it's getting pathetic.
Dude, we don't have our identity is we've run like 3 flea flickers this year because we're just like Todd Downing's like, I've got nothing for this game. Let's just try flea flicker and see what happens. And I mean, yeah, but you know, I'm going back on my words and all that, but Henry did ran well, and there were holes. He was breaking some tackles. He had a great first half. What do you have?
He had
like
100 yards in the first quarter.
Or first quarter,
yeah. And then the Titans lost the game. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. I've never seen anything
in the second half. Yeah. And then the second half, Tannehill, so many sacks and punting the ball back, and the dang trick play, Tannehill, faking the snap over his head, and Henry can't. He fumbled the ball twice.
I had forgotten that, Justin. Why'd you even remind me? I had forgotten that it happened. That's
therapy, Jake.
Talk about a bad play call. Oh my God, I'm confronting my childhood trauma with that freaking. What is that play call? Todd, we're down 3 touchdowns. Throw the ball. Don't do a little gadget. Oh, I fumbled the snap. Oh, come on.
Lord have mercy. Yeah, like. What is Amy Adams Strunk? Miss Amy, can you please? I wonder what she's thinking when she looks at Todd Downing. She pulled the plug on J-Rob, and she was justified to do that with the mismanagement of the roster, AJ Brown trade, etc. But like, what is she seeing? I mean, she means business. She wants a championship, and she's seeing the same offensive performance that we are. And maybe she's seeing a bad offensive line, and she's really, it's hard for her to blame Downing, or there's really nobody we have to step in for Downing if we make a change in December at this point in the season, which seems crazy. But it's not getting any better. We see Downing for what he is, and it's not going to improve, especially with the offensive line. You can't really operate anything or install any kind of plays or offense or identity when you can't reliably trust your left tackle to make a routine pass block while getting help from Chigakonkwo, who's chipping, and you still miss and whiff on the block. Poor Tannehill, poor Henry. What a wasted year where they came in and were ready to go and have been playing well this year. But yeah. And then, the play calling and flea flickering on the first play of the game. I don't know. Yeah. What are you seeing, Amy? Are you going to pull the plug yourself? It seems like Vrabel might be a little too fiercely loyal to his guys. Amy Adams Strunk might need to step in and make that change this offseason and force Vrabel's hand into getting a new guy, a new direction. If we're not doing a total rebuild, we need a new philosophy for the offense. Yes. The ground and pound with Henry is
kind of over.
Yeah,
I hate to say it.
Yeah, Still want Henry though. He's still, he's
Yes,
still got football
obviously.
ahead of him in the future. But we need. Is there another Mike McDaniels? Look at what he's doing with the Dolphins and that offense. Unbelievable work. Can we poach a Mike McDaniels or Mike Daniels or Mike McDaniels?
Mike McDaniels.
Yeah, is there the next Mike McDaniels out there that we can borrow for a year, like a Matt LaFleur, where we borrow an offensive coordinator who's just going to go on to use the Titans' job as a stepping stone to be a head coach? But yeah, we gotta change what we're doing really on offense if we're not gonna flip the page on all the personnel and the key positions. We need to flip the actual literal script, the offensive playbook, into what our identity is. I think moving forward.
Absolutely. I'm with you. Philosophy problem. But Justin, let's talk about more entertaining teams than the Tennessee Titans. Do you have your 3 games against the spread ready?
Yes. I believe I do. Would you like me to start, or do you want to go?
I'll go right ahead. You know what? We've talked. Speaking of Mike McDaniels and those pesky Miami Dolphins, fish out of water this weekend. I have the Buffalo Bills -7 points at home in the snowstorm that is set to hit Buffalo. We're finally getting a Buffalo snow game that we've wanted. Tua, we've talked about it before. Played high school in Hawaii, college in Alabama. Now he's playing in Southern Florida for the Miami Dolphins. And the Dolphins team as a whole, bad in cold weather. Talk about they were just playing the Chargers in LA. It was 55 degrees, Justin. The Dolphins had heaters on their sidelines. Now they have to go play in half a foot of snow. Give me the Bills -7. So then next pick, shout out our Raiders friends. I'm going to take the Las Vegas Raiders -1.5 versus the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick's reign is probably over. And that's kind of my only – the Patriots are in the playoffs right now, actually, which is amazing to say. But I don't know. I'm just not the biggest believer in the Pats. So give me the Raiders -1.5.
Wow.
And then I have the Philadelphia Eagles -9 against the Chicago Bears. Bears are in full tank effect. Philadelphia Eagles are probably the best team in football right now. That one's kind of just bone and dry, simple like that.
Yeah, I like it. I'm surprised about the Patriots being dogs though against the Raiders, but we'll see. We'll see if they can, pull that
smell
out.
A rat, Justin. I smell a rat.
Yeah, you called it.
I called the Lions. I called the Lions one. Lions Viking.
And that's a good, and that leads right into my picks because the Lions 1.5-point favorites on the road against the Jets. I like how they're playing right now. Mike White struggled last week. Did he not?
Zach Wilson is starting.
Oh God, yeah. Give me the Lions all day with that spread. I think they will take that game on the road. So give me the Lions with 1.5 points. I was going to pick the Dolphins Bills, and I was kind of leaning towards the Dolphins. But yeah, you made a great point about the cold weather stuff. So I'm gonna find another game from that. This is going to be a little salty of me. I'm still salty about the Jags, but Cowboys on the road against Jacksonville. I will take the Cowboys with the 4 points. Jacksonville, you're going to be playing a team that has actual healthy players, I believe. They have to be healthy. I don't know exactly how healthy the Cowboys are. Mm-hmm. They had a big-time scare against Houston, and maybe that was kind of a wake-up thing for them. But they're trying to keep pace with the Eagles. I think the other 2 games back, I still think with 1 game left to play against them. So they still have a potential division to play for there. I will take the Cowboys with 4 points. And lastly, Cincinnati on the road against the Bucks. Dude, something bad. It's bad times. Tommy Brady is not having a good time this year. Yeah. And I will take Cincinnati with 3.5 points on the road against the Bucks. 2 teams who were trending entirely in different directions here. Bengals on a hot winning streak here. So I will take Cincinnati in that game. Show.
I like it. I like them. We'll have to see how we go. We'll see if I smelled another rat, Justin.
You're a rat smeller. Yeah.
And you're a smart feller. Do you have anything to take us to the bar, man?
That was nice. Appreciate that. I got nothing. I'm ready to just get over this week and then talk about maybe not a Titans win, but maybe we could talk about a Jags loss to the Cowboys.
That would be great. That would be great. Anti-Jags tube is basically what we're going to be moving forward.
That's right. That's right.
Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Everybody put on a brave face and have a great football weekend. Let's go out and maybe at least be competitive with the Chargers. Tighten up, and we'll see you next week.